Good morning, good morning. I'll read. Welcome to twitch.tv/icecreamuploads. How are you guys all doing today? It's Thursday. We are almost at the weekend. Well, it is the weekend for me, essentially. I'm not going to be around on Friday because I'm a Skyver. Yeah. Destiny's Child remix. I'm a Skyver. Anyway, you get the idea. Welcome in. We are live on Twitch. My name is Graham, and I am joined by the men that we call... Baby. I
was waiting for the shower of praise just raining over me then.
I was about to go, baby. But then I saw you, like, big smile on your face. So I thought I'd just leave you wait and go, baby. Because I can.
Why the fuck not?
I'll read, Bib.
Good. Still morning, Graham.
It is.
Yes, good morning. 20 to 12.
We've gone live, literally taken another 5 minutes off it like we did yesterday. Literally, I was saying, do you know what? We may take 5 minutes off again. And we did exactly that, 5 minutes. If you don't know what we are talking about, we go live each and every single weekday with this. We are the Scoop. We are not the Scoop. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is the Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. Even if we do say so ourselves, we go live on Twitch each and every single weekday. That's 5 days a week at 10 a.m. ish. Not always 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. ish. We do work, so the streams, the scoops and stuff, they all fit in around that. So we go live at 10 a.m. ish. Anyway, we've been closer to 12 noon, and then 10 to 12 ish, and then 20 to 12-ish. So we're getting earlier. We're ticking it off. In a few weeks' time, we're maybe back down below 11 o'clock. You never know. But we do go live at 10 a.m. ish on twitch.tv/icecreamuploads. If you are in the chat, please feel free to say hello, good morning. I want to know if you're here, but also not just I want to know if you're here. I want to know what your thoughts and impressions are on all of the stories. We will give you our thoughts and impressions as we go. We have the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions, but we also want to know your thoughts and impressions. Then, your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. Do you know, I've said thoughts and impressions a few times. I think you get the idea. That's what it is. So if you're in the chat, do feel free to get involved, because we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play and all the other places that people consume their podcasts. We are there. But yeah, feel free to get involved, because those people get to watch and listen on demand. They do not get to get involved in the chat with us right now. So if you are watching on YouTube, hey, do me a favour, just write in the comment down below. Yeah, nice. Do it. Just write anything. Right, jam sandwich, please, Miss Patterson. Just write that now. Do it. But if you're listening on demand, hey, how you doing? Speaking about being in the chat, Mr. Garlic Clark, here's here, exclamation mark Garlic Clark. I'll read Garlic. How's things? I've just posted in the Discord, exclamation mark Discord as well, by the way, this morning, that Gary has been talking about going to, is it the NBA shop in London, or is there a pop-up shop, or is it a permanent shop? Anyway, he was talking about going. Anyway, I've been kind of keeping my eye on it, because I know that he's an Orlando fan. And he retweeted a picture this morning of an Orlando basketball jersey, and it looks sexy. Very sexy. It does. It looks nice. So I might have to buy a basketball jersey. The only thing with basketball jerseys, I have one, and it's the PlayStation basketball jersey from Insert Coin. But my pasty white arms do not look good sticking out of a vest top. So I have to wear a T-shirt or something underneath it, and then layer it up. And that's fine when it's winter, but when it's summer like this, nope. It gets kind of warm in these rhinos, so it's no. Yeah, it's permanent store. If you need anything, let me know. Oh, nice. I may have to do some little bit of scouting online and then send you some. Where underneath most people do. I mean, I do. It just gets sweaty in this room. Speaking of which, let's turn on the fan. That's probably why it's starting to warm up right now. Yes, nice. Anyway, before we jump into the stream, before we start talking about the news, before we start talking about Bibby absolutely tearing it up in Fortnite yesterday, I want to remind you guys that we have a loot drop. If you don't know what that is the way that we give back to our subscribers. We have a monthly subscriber-only giveaway where we show thanks to subs for their support. One person wins a prize every month. This month, it was West. Shout out to West. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Anyway, he won himself some ICU merch. It hasn't been ordered yet, but he will be getting one of these. Chappers won one last month. That will be on his way to him sometime soon, I hope. Once Gamers Apparel ship that. That's the thing. None of these items exist, so they're all manufactured and shipped on demand. So there is a little bit of a lead time for the esports stuff to be the esports shirts to be sent out, but yeah, hopefully Chappers arrive soon, and then Wests will be arriving a little bit after that. But if you do want to get involved, all you have to do is be a sub. and be in the Discord as well. That's the other part. You need to have your Twitch and your Discord accounts linked. If you do that, then everything's good. You can be entered for as long as you're a sub. If you have a rolling sub, you get entered every month, and you don't need to do anything else. As long as everything's linked, you're good to go. And as well as that, exclamation mark Muscle Moose. Let's shout out to the lovely people at Muscle Moose. You can see the cans. Oh, it's just disappeared. Just as I said it, it was just there, and it's gone. Shout out to Muscle Moose. If you want to bag yourself any snacks and drinks, some treats from Muscle Moose, exclamation mark Muscle Moose in the chat will give you a discount code. We do not earn anything on that, by the way. So we're very honest, and that's the reason why we'll other drinks and stuff, like Wraith. There you go. There's one in my hand. Or whoever else we work with drinks-wise. Muscle Moose is just a company that's really close to us, and they're very nice to us, very supportive to us, so we're very nice and supportive to them. So if you do want to buy yourself some snacks and some drinks without leaving the house, exclamation mark Muscle Moose will give you a link to their site and a code to get some money off. As mentioned, we don't earn on that, so feel free to use it, feel free to not use it. We're just giving you options. Lotus! Good morning, Lotus. How's things? Shout out to Lotus. If you haven't checked out Lotus, by the way, Lotus is I want to say fair to middling at PUBG. It's reasonable.
When you
skills.
put yourself in that bracket before you offended someone?
Mid to bottom. No, but check out Lotus. Purely, I mean, forget the fact that he's got reasonable PUBG. No, he's good at PUBG. But forget the fact that he has PUBG skills. He has. I mean, you know what I'm like for lights and shit. I mean, just look at the room behind me. You know what I'm like for things, gadgets and trinkets. Lotus has a hat that has programmable LED messaging going across it. I mean, that's cool enough on its own. But he had tomato sauce on eggs written, scrolling across his face the other day, just for the benefit of West, who is our loot drop winner for this month. So West, obviously, on the plus side, he's getting one of these esports shirts free of charge. Well, not free because he's a sub, but on the downside, he does get the piss taken out of him just across Twitch, which is nice, and he invites it on himself. Do you know what? It's just part of the gospel. Anyway, check out Lotus' channel. If you want to see someone playing PUBG to a very high standard on console, then feel free to go check out Lotus. Thank you very much for the raid this morning. Mark, good morning, dude. How's things? Lotus saying, stop advertising and love me. That wasn't even advertising. It was just, we like to do the shout out. So there's no hashtag ad on that. We've had some hashtag gifteds from Muscle Moose, but yeah, we don't get paid. We've never received a penny from Muscle Moose. We do get things like, if I open up my mini fridge, we do get drinks and stuff sent to us, which we haven't had for a while. But yeah, no ad, just gifted. But yeah, we do have a discount code. They give us a discount code for our community, so they can save off. So yeah, we like to share. Nice. 2 GGs back to back. Nice. Were you playing with Hamish or what? How's things? Hat was the best stream edition ever. That it's class. It's class. I used to have the same thing on a belt buckle. I had a little belt buckle. Whereas I'm assuming you can program yours with your phone. This was 20 years ago. No, maybe not 20 years ago. More like 15 years ago. And Bluetooth and those sort of connections didn't exist yet. So it had little buttons on the back of it, and I had to go through and choose every letter. And if you got one wrong, you had to start again. So yeah, it was a pain in the ass. With Ditch, Big Ham, and Chaos. Nice. That doesn't surprise me that you got back-to-back GGs. Nice. Well, you're all here just in time for us to start talking about the news. Before that, though, Bib, how'd you get on yesterday's stream?
Yeah, we did well yesterday. It was just ticking off some of the stuff on Fortnite, some of the quests. Because the good thing about Fortnite, and I assume this is the same with you and PUBG, like winning is fantastic. Obviously, when you get that chicken dinner, you get that victory royale, it's, you know what I mean. You're absolutely loving it. You can't get away from it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But just ticking off that XP to try and grind to that level 100 in Fortnite is where it's at. However, when I join with someone who's much better at the game than I have, that I've got 100 more wins or 200, 300 more wins like Jordan had yesterday when he jumped in, it makes my life a lot more difficult because there is obviously some kind of skill-based matchmaking going on in the background. So I'm coming up against people who don't necessarily build that often because I don't build because I'm fucking shit at it. So if it's an out-and-out gunfight, I do fancy myself in that. So when I'm playing in solos, it's great because I'm playing against people who are my level, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of fair. You do get the odd person who's just like fucking insane at building. I end up shooting him off that because the fucking shit at shooting. So it's like swings and roundabouts. But yeah, when I played with Jordan in duos, we had, I think, the 3 games. We ended up getting a top 5 finish out of it once, but we just kept on getting hammered. Like it's I can't keep up. I know I'm not that good at the game. I've not played it for as long as I think the time in the game is maybe 2 days, which isn't that long. 48 hours in any game nowadays isn't that long. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying playing it again. Like I'm going to try and get to level 100 this time, and I've got till the 7th of September before the new season starts. So yeah, we're just plugging away as it stands.
I was watching, I don't know if it was yesterday, it might have been the day before, Spike was in the chat, and he was like, just build a ramp, anything to give you some cover.
Yeah, it was Spike, yeah, yesterday.
And I was thinking, do you know, that reminds me of when me and you were playing, like, you'd just be there going, bah, bah, bah. I'd be like, I mean, I'm not a good builder, I'm not good Fortnite, same thing, I like shooting, the building. I'll do like a 2x2 ramp, and that's it. So I see Bibby stand there shooting, I'm like, the ramp! There you go, stand on that. Oh shit, they shot you down. Fuck, ramp again!
Well, you were just like getting all their attention while I was just popping around, going pop, pop, pop. But the railgun is like my favorite gun in that by far is a railgun. It doesn't kill them one shot, which is annoying. It takes like 85% of the health, especially if they've got a shield. So you're basically just advertising that you're around the corner. But my God, does it rip if you catch them?
It's nice though. It's almost lightsaber-ish in the fact that you charge up the railgun and you fire it. It'll blitz through everything just like the lightsabers would. The lightsaber would never one hit, but it was lethal if you used it, kind of stuff. So yeah, similar sort of thing. Watching you with the railgun made me think, okay, maybe there's something in this season that I'd enjoy. But generally, the season
like Grande concert.
No. Generally, there's stuff in that season that just like the warthoggy stuff, the weird little aliens that sit on your face. Nah, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's do you know? It's almost like getting a Blackpink crossover concert. That's not for me either. But do you know what? That's jumping into today's news. So the last story that we will have today is PUBG centric, and that will be that PUBG gets a crossover event with K-pop supergroup Blackpink. Are you guys interested in that? I'm not. I'm not. I'm genuinely 100% not. Elsewhere, our lead story, you will have seen this if you've seen our social media posts. Epic Games Store lost $130 million in its first wave of exclusives. So that's how much money it spent on giving free games on PC to its users to install a decent-sized user base. $130 million so far. We have figures on that. Elsewhere, we'll jump into the other stories. Gamescom's 2021 opening night live has been confirmed as being a 2-hour showcase. That's quite a big show for a Gamescom one. Nice. We may potentially be watching that along as well, live on the channel. So if you do want to watch Gamescom's opening night live, you want to see the announcements and reveals as they go, then feel free to drop a follow on this channel. That way you will be notified whenever we go live, and we do live watch alongs. We did EA Play last month. We did all of E3 the month before, so feel free to get involved. And then for anyone that's on our Discord, !Discord in the chat, you will have seen me mention Zool randomly picking a game out of my ass yesterday. Bacon Chin asked the question, which video game character would you like to see in Smash Brothers? So Bibby said, what was it? Something from Soul Reaver.
Raphael.
Which I've seen it, I've never played it. So Bibby mentioned a character from Soul Reaver, so I thought, wow, that was a bit left field. So let me think. And I started thinking, like, obviously you've got the Marios and the Sonics, and I thought, okay, Zool tried to be a Mario and Sonic on the Mega Drive and stuff way back when. So I put in the chat, Zool, the ninja from the Nth Dimension, and literally about an hour later, VGC were tweeting about the fact that Zool redimensioned, a remake of the 90s game, is on the way. So that's the other story. Cult 90s platformer Zool is getting a Steam remake. So we'll have all of that news for you. But first, Bib.
Yes.
You almost single-handedly have cost Epic Games $130 million with the inclusion of hashtag Free Game Friday here on twitch.tv/iCreamUploads. Any regrets?
Absolutely not.
Goddamn
never.
Right.
I will never apologize.
So if you don't know what that is, whenever there's new announcements, any free games, be that PS Plus games, be that new additions to Game Pass, I know that's not free, but it kind of is, or Epic Games Store updates, we do bring you that content, either on a daily basis or every Friday. We finish the week with the Epic Games Store updates, hashtag Free Game Friday, but that has proven to be costly. Sean Murray at The Gamer has this article, says Epic Games Store lost $130 million in first wave exclusives. The Epic Games Store spent millions in exclusive game deals with publishers, and now we know how much it actually cost. Lawyers in the Epic versus Apple lawsuit might have wrapped their cases a few months ago, but we're still discovering things about Epic's operations thanks to publicly available court documents. We already knew that Epic spent around $444 million securing exclusive game deals with publishers, including minimum guarantees that Epic would have to cover if the game didn't sell on their nascent PC game store. However, we didn't know how much money Epic made back until game discover company Simon Carlos posted a new document to Twitter. Thanks, TechRaptor. The document shows various games released on the Epic Game Store back in 2019. It breaks down how much money Epic spent on minimum guarantees, MG, how much money the game made in millions of dollars, and how much money Epic expected to make over the lifetime of each exclusive deal. Add it all together, and Epic spent $217 million in minimum guarantees, only to make back $86 million for an expected lifetime shortfall of $131 million. This meant Epic only made back roughly 40% of its investment. Sadly, the game titles are blacked out, so we don't know exactly which games are the biggest winners or losers for Epic, but we do have release dates. This allowed Reddit user Mr. Bubba J to fill in the chart with actual names. Ta-da! Chart there, link tweet in the chat. Epic's biggest winners and the only two games to make back their money were Dauntless and Satisfactory. Both are pretty big games that got even bigger when they were eventually released on other platforms. Epic's biggest losers were Metro Exodus and The Division 2, two games that had to spend a lot on minimum guarantees to secure a timed exclusive. Both games eventually released on Steam and other platforms where they were far more successful. Without another lawsuit, it seems doubtful we'll ever see hard numbers for what Epic spent on 2020's exclusive deals, but judging by Sweeney's own words, it sounded like 2020 was another loss for Epic. Lots of money lost. Do you know what? As interesting and as almost like eye-opening as that is, it's also not very eye-opening, surely. Surely we'd expect shitloads of money to be lost. If you are trying to unseat the likes of Steam or other first-party platforms, surely you have to be spending 7, 8, 9, 10 figures to get into that. So losing 130 million to try and increase the size of your user base, your install base, surely that's kind of right? Or does this come as a surprise? What are your thoughts, Bib?
Yeah, I don't think in the grand scheme of things this should be surprising to a lot of people. They are, like you said, trying to compete with Steam, GOG. There's a few storefronts that obviously you've got things like Origin now, but they've kind of moved into Steam. But there's a lot of storefronts out there that are trying to compete for not office space. Is it like the storefront? What we're talking here? Like if you're trying to compete for something, they're trying to compete for a retail space, shall we say?
That's exactly the phrase I was going to say. Retail space.
Yeah, so everyone's trying to do what they can, and obviously, Epic Games Store, even though they've been around for a while, are the new kids on the block. You are trying to compete with someone like Steam, who's been around since the dawn of video games, especially playing on PCs. Maybe not quite in the arcades, but they've been there for the longest time, so they are well established. You have to try and throw your chips down first to see what'll happen, and they have tried to do that. And there's some of the games that they tried to get first as exclusives for a limited amount of time. They are very good games that have been listed there. It's just I don't think that's Epic's long game. There's a reason they keep on throwing out games, and we covered maybe 2 or 3 months ago how much they ended up losing on giving away the likes of Grand Theft Auto and all these AAA games that you think, why are they giving this away? This seems like there was Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think that might have been out maybe 2 months. It was available for you to download for free. So I think they're trying to play the long game. They want you to use that storefront. When you load up your PC, they want you to have that app to be one of the first things, because you can have Steam Auto Run, you can have Epic Games Auto Run. As soon as you load it up, they want you to see that storefront. So then when they do have the coupons where you can go in and you can buy a game for 20% off, you then activate another coupon for maybe 30% off or £10 off your next game, and something that will just keep on happening. So eventually you're 200 quid down, you've got 50 games in your library that you're never going to play. And they end up becoming a profitable business. I think that's their long game. Having the exclusives is great, and it puts them in the conversation. But I genuinely don't think that is their long game there. I think they're more than happy to see this money fall by the wayside, because as long as it keeps them in the conversation, it keeps them being a relevant storefront for people.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing as well. The interesting thing for me is I'll bring this article back on screen. See if I can lift out the image in this tweet actually. So this is, you have to take this with a pinch. Someone has filled in the gaps. So obviously, if I come off this is the original data. The titles in the studios are blocked out, but because of the date range, people have been able to piece it together. Because of that, there has been some non-confirmed analysis going into this. So whilst this is probably right, take it with a pinch because it might not be. But the key things for me is that Metro Exodus, incredible game. The Division, huge game. Obviously, flawed in itself. The Division 2 wasn't quite as good as what people expected after the Division 1, but we'll put all that to bed. That's kind of not too relevant for this conversation, but massive games there. But obviously, if you look over here, 22.2 million shortfall on Metro Exodus, 24.5 million shortfall on the Division 2. That would instantly, like, my instant knee-jerk reaction is, okay, well, that's that gone then. They're not going to invest in Metro or the Division or even big games anymore. But is it? You never really know with this sort of stuff because this is all, to use a marketing term, I assume a lot of you will probably know what it means, so I might be teaching you to suck eggs, but a loss leader is something where you lose money up front with the aim of recouing money back as a result. So you speculate to accumulate. And that's what the whole of the Metro Game Store strategy is about, is a loss leader. Give away free games, get people in, get users in. Once people are installed and have a library built, then they will continue to play games there. So when new games come out that they have to pay for, they will buy it on the Epic Game Store rather than on Steam or rather than on GOG or rather than on PlayStation or whatever. And that's what the idea is. I wonder though, is that like, does that make them fear big releases? So Metro Exodus and The Division losing 50 million between them, that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, Epic know what they're doing. They know how much money they can drop, and they're happy to keep plugging away at this. And like projections, I think they were saying 5 years before they start to make money on the Epic Game Store. Others were saying it's probably going to be more like 7 years before they start to make money on the Epic Game Store. I just wonder like how much this impacts them in the short term. Like, will there be knee jerks and go, okay, we can't buy full PC exclusives like Metro Exodus? Obviously, Metro Exodus, there was a whole conversation about Metro because it was announced on Steam, people paid for it on Steam, and then there was a big upheaval where Epic paid for exclusivity, so it was ripped away from Steam for anyone that hadn't bought it already. So there was a whole drama and stuff around that, but I wonder whether that losing 22.2 million is within their realm of reality, or whether that's them going, do you know what, 22 million, it got us shitloads of new users. Yes, they haven't spent, so the shortfall is quite high now, but that's the loss leading. The thing with this research, it doesn't tell you that that led to so many users or whatever that could then spend going forward. So that's the bit that I don't know. Is like there's shitloads lost there, but is that a good loss for them? Because losing always seems bad initially, but losing is only half the story. Is it a worthwhile loss? We don't really know there, but it shows you just how much Epic are making elsewhere and how much they want Epic Game Store to succeed as well. Also shows you that Epic are sticking with it as well, because I mean, losing $22.2 million on one title, that's enough to make a lot of companies go, fuck this shit, I'm out. I mean, Stadia, probably, I mean, if they've invested $22 million, where? But they're not investing to that level. I mean, what they got Red Dead Redemption early on-ish, kind of, but not quite, and then Cyberpunk, but then that was delayed and stuff, and they've not really had anything beyond that. So even though Epic are losing, they're still spending. So clearly it must be within their plans, right?
Yeah, like I say, it's definitely long term. It has to be. It has to be. They've been hemorrhaging money off of these deals. Like I say, we reported on something 3 months ago, but Epic Games Store's been doing this for like the last 2, maybe 3 years. They've been hemorrhaging money ever since they've started doing it. So it has to be a long term goal. Otherwise, bye Epic Games Store, and we'll see you next year. Maybe never.
I mean, they are. So one thing's for those that don't know, this starts up wider conversations about the likes of Game Pass and things like that, because Epic Game Store just hemorrhages money, but Fortnite just rakes in money and will do so even more when the new season launches next month or whatever, and the Ariana Grande concert comes in and starts to bring more eyes into it, and all of the new Street Fighter skins and stuff. Fortnite has no problem earning money, and Epic are using that money to prop up other areas of the business, which most business practices are like, nope, if you've got something that's making money, you don't do it, whereas they're trying to build for the future. So I hugely applaud it. It's just like so much money being lost. Tito says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've downloaded a few free games from them, never bought anything. I guess they have a target conversion rate, but I don't think it really works. And that's the thing. I mean, it's still kind of early in that sense, but Epic do have a strategy there. So Stadia just go, okay, here's a few games. All right then, now what do you want me to do? Did you not see us giving you a few games? That's kind of what we're hoping. But it's like, no, beyond that, I've done that. Now what? Whereas Epic go, okay, here's a few games, and then they've gone, oh yeah, Fortnite, you can only play that on the Epic Games Store. Rocket League is on the Epic Games Store, and we're giving you loads of free content and stuff. And we've just bought Fall Guys and stuff, so they're starting to churn out. I mean, obviously, they bought in Rocket League and Fall Guys, and they're all kind of similar sort of games, but they are starting to tick off with big titles in terms of stuff that is live service, continued content. And I expect to see more of that sort of stuff. Games from them that go with it. I mean, that's the thing with Xbox Game Pass. Incredible deal. Is that sustainable? I don't believe it is. We spoke about it last week. I don't believe it is for the long term. I think it's a loss leader, just like this is. But the thing is, Xbox has its own first-party games that will then start to create revenue streams and stuff on that. So they'll have live service games and stuff to come out, which will then start to prop it up. And I believe Epic will do the same. Get shitloads of people in. Give them Metro Exodus. Give them Dauntless, give them the Outer Wilds, give them all this other stuff. Give them GTA 5 free on PC. And then once they're all in, then we'll start to release our first-party titles. But that is where the risk comes in. So all of this, for me, it kind of is on a knife edge, because if they've got some big first-party titles that take the world by storm, win. That's it, instant win. But if it was easy enough to just make a first-party title that took the world by storm, we'd have a new first-party title every week or every month. But it's not an easy win to do something different, or to do something new, or to do something fresh that catches an entire user base's attention and then goes, okay, this is me. This is what I'm playing now. I'm going to get involved on Epic Games Store on PC. You need something that is that Fall Guys summer from last year. That Animal Crossing New Horizon from last year. Those were different games that got shitloads of people onto PS Plus for the first time, onto PC for the first time, and then onto Switch for the first time. And Epic needs one of those games, something that will make people go, I need this game in my life. Everyone is playing this game. It is really good. Be it a flash in the pan game like a Fall Guys, or be it a forever churner like a Fortnite. Epic needs one of those that's made by them, exclusive to them, only available on their platforms, and that's the only way that they will get the cut through. Xbox have been, I mean, $7.5 billion on ZeniMax Media, Bethesda. There's a reason you spend $7.5 billion, and that is for future-proofing and protection. And Xbox know that. They've got Game Pass, now they need to add the value. That's what that value comes from. $7.5 billion is a lot of money, and is not profitable to spend that kind of money without churning it back. That's their loss leading. Xbox, they're not spending $7.5 billion in one go, but not Xbox, Epic, and they're not spending $7.5 billion in one go, but they're doing the same sort of thing, building out their content platform before they give their first-party games. And we've seen Epic are recruiting for first-party games and stuff, so that is where it is. They need to kind of build out some big first-party content platforms to keep the users that they've got and convert them into not just dormant users like Tito, like me. I have Epic Games Store and I don't really use it, but I do have it and I do grab a free games every week. They need something to convert me from being dormant to active. But
is that not because you're not predominantly a PC player? What's the kind of game like? I mean, if I honestly think if you was to ever make the switch to a PC full-time PC player, you would have done so for PUBG already, because that's the game that you play more than anything. And if PUBG can't do it, what will?
But that's the thing, though, is like there's nothing that's made me make that transition because PUBG. I started playing PUBG on PC with you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it was, and then it came to the Xbox, which put it in the realm of my social circle. I had more people that I could have played with on the Xbox, and then it came to PlayStation, so I jumped yet again because I had more people that I could have played with on the PlayStation. It doesn't matter so much now on console because it's cross platform, but I needed to make those jumps for the social elements and.
Yeah.
If my social circle isn't on PC or isn't on Epic specifically, then Epic needs to do something that pulls my social circle to that platform. And until they start doing that, then it probably won't get me. I am open to the idea of playing more PC games. Obviously, the games that I play, I do have console ins for a lot of them. State of Decay played on PC through the Xbox Game Bar kind of thing, because that was my only possible in, and it was a good, albeit temporary, way in. And Epic needs something like that scratches an itch that I can't get anywhere else. And at the moment, all of Epic's games, be that Rocket League, be that Fortnite, be that whatever, they are cross-platform. So the Epic Game Store is kind of irrelevant for me because of their full market approach, and they want to satisfy everyone. It also gets rid of we want an exclusive area of the market approach as well. So at the moment, they are doing good for me, but also doing bad for themselves at the same time, if that makes sense. Let me jump back through the comments. Lotus said, yeah, I can do mine with my phone, but I get the missus in the background to do it on her phone, so she's in control. Well, you were a trusting man. I would be fearful of being sat there with "I'm a penis" scrolling across my LED baseball cap. Zool just makes me think of Ghostbusters. Yeah, me too. That's a good shout. Good morning, Mr. T. I'll read. Division talk ish. It's more like the lack of division talk in that sort of sense. That is the biggest loser on the Epic Games Store. I don't understand what the difference is. Why there is two separate columns, but it lost $24.5 million is that 2 separate weeks, 2 separate months? Anyway, $24.5 million and $13.6 million lost. So if that is cumulative, then yeah, almost $40 million the Division 2 cost Epic. So yikes. I wonder if that was because the Division 2 wasn't as good as the Division 1, or whether it was just Epic had to pay more because the Division 2 came after Division 1 and it just didn't. I don't know. There could be a few different elements in there, but yeah, big money loser. Vern, thank you very much for the host as well. 15 minutes ago. I'll rate. How did you get on last night in your club sesh? Was it good? But I don't know. All I know is that Bibby said something about the first game. You pretty much had Roberto Carlos on the team. Whoever was at left back. Bibby didn't say who it was. All he was saying, whoever was at left back was pretty much holding the team up. I don't know who that was. I'm assuming Bibby
played playing well.
Centre mid or something like that. I'm assuming.
Nah, centre back, mate. Centre back.
Bilal, good morning, dude. How's things? As a kid, I thought Zool was a Ghostbusters spin-off game. Understandable. There's a recent / new manual FIFA community on Discord for 1v1 or pro clubs. It's not for me. I don't have time to learn manual. I don't want to be that guy that gets... I mean, it's bad enough watching PES players play FIFA and FIFA players playing PES when you get one-on-one on goal and then they cross it over the bar. That is everything when I'm playing manual. Everything just goes out over the bar. How the fuck did you kick it over the bar? You're in your own half. I don't know. I'm just trying to play it to your feet. So yeah, it's not for me. I've played through my clubs on FIFA 21. It's fun and a great challenge. Said it before, I'll say it again. I've downloaded a few and I've done that bit. I guess they'll just cut down how many big games become free. Maybe they'll ramp it up. Maybe they need more games in having games every week, every Thursday. But then arguably, a lot of people will be like, what was it? It was like Bridge Builder Walking Dead edition or something like that. People will be like, snooze fest, and then they'll have something else that's some sort of city builder, snooze fest, and then they'll have a GTA, and people are like, oh yeah, and then they'll go back to another snooze fest. I mean, that's me not meaning to shit on those games specifically, but what I mean is that because they're trying to be wide ranging, they aren't speaking to a demographic, they're speaking to whole of market, which is good and admirable, but if only one game in every 6 weeks speaks to you, then that's a weak proposition in terms of user acquisition and building. So maybe they need more games. Maybe they are going to do less games. Maybe they're going to laser focus on 3 months of FPS, 3 months of indie, 3 months of whatever. I don't know. But there's all sorts of ways. There is no right and wrong answer. So it'd be interesting to see where they do go with that. Because, I mean, if anyone's going to have a right and wrong answer and shitloads of data to go with it, it will be Epic. So we'll see. It'll be good to see where they go. Madge was our Bobby Carlos and Bibi turned into Prime Beckenbauer. I don't believe it. Anyway, moving ahead. So Epic Games Store has lost $130 million. What they do need, in my assumption, is probably some new games. And where they could announce that would be Gamescom opening night live. That's the cheesy tangent into the next bit of news, which is from Tom Ivan at VGC. Gamescom 2021 opening night live will be a 2-hour showcase featuring, quote, this holiday's biggest upcoming video games and what lies beyond. So we probably will be watching opening night live when it kicks off this year, depending on when it actually is. I don't actually know. I mean, the dates and stuff will be in this. Let me have a quick check. I actually think I'm off then. Okay, Bibi will be watching opening night live.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm off.
No, you won't. No, you ain't. So I think I was talking about, I might even be leaving the country. I'm thinking, fuck it, we're double jabbed now. We're going to get the Rona. But yeah. Opening night live will be taking place later this year. We did watch last year's live, and me and Bibi were sat in a bar in Cologne when the one happened the year before, eating some tapas-y sort of stuff.
Yes.
It was good tapas as well.
It was great.
But so we went from not having it 2 years ago to having it last year, to maybe only having half of the team. Well, I say half the team, half of us, but the thing with our watch-alongs, we do get a lot of other guys in. Mr. T, Ben Ward, Shaw, Nico. We've had a bunch of people jumping in for watch-alongs. Purposely misses out, Enix. It's fine. It's okay. But anyway, I'll give you the details of this. Gamescom 2021 will kick off in 3 weeks with a 2-hour opening night live showcase. Producer and host Jeff Keighley said on Wednesday that the event will provide, quote, a new look at this holiday's biggest upcoming video games and what lies beyond. 2020's Gamescom opening night live attracted over 2 million simultaneous viewers on twitch.tv/iStreamUploads, representing a 4-fold increase compared to the previous year. Oh, it doesn't say just on our channel there. Sorry, I misread that. Gamescom 2021's main event days will take place from August to 26th to 27th following the opening night live showcase. Okay, maybe I might be around for it. Anyway, major game publishers recently confirmed their participation in this month's event, including Xbox, EA, Sega, and Activision. The full list of confirmed top international companies includes 505 Games, Activision, Aerosoft, Assemble Entertainment, Astrogon Entertainment, Bandai Namco, Bethesda, Electronic Arts, Game Evil Com to Us Europe. What the fuck? Head Up, Indie Arena Booth, Koch Media, Next Studios, aka Tencent Games, Sega Europe, Team 17, Thunderful Games, Ubisoft, Wargaming, and Xbox. In addition, the above companies will be joined by 80, quote, curated top indie titles, according to Gamescom organisers Köln Messe and the German Games Industry Association. Gamescom 2021 will be an all-digital event for the second year running after its organiser abandoned plans to stage a hybrid show combining digital elements with on-site events due to restrictions around the COVID-19 pandemic. 2 hours for a showcase, Bib. Xbox,
Yes.
EA, Sega, Activision. Bit of a mixed bag of names there, but forgetting everything else that's going on inside in the industry right now. Big old names. Looking forward to it. Excited?
Yeah, no Koch Media.
I mean, Koch Media was actually in that list, to be fair. So,
no, it's not. Hopefully, not going to be a 2 hours worth of fucking listening to people waffle on. But yeah, you can't beat an opening. Well, I say you can't beat an opening night. I fucking love Gamescom. I absolutely love Gamescom. It always seems to be a little bit more snappier than E3. Everything just seems to run a little bit smoother than E3 does. So yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to this. I'm just about to put it in my calendar actually because I absolutely will forget what day it's going to be on. So I'm just going to sit this in my calendar now so that when Samantha says what you're doing this weekend, I'm not going to be like, nothing. We plan to do something. Bibi's not here. So that is going right in my calendar now. But yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I can't wait to. I've looked at my calendar. I'm here, so we can stream it. We can do a watch on. We can get the gang back together again. Yes, I'm looking at you, Asim. Yes, I'm looking at you, Ben. Yes, I'm looking at you, Nico. Yes, I'm looking at you, Show, to get the band back together again. And we do some watch along business.
I can see that there is a tweet in this article, but once again, I don't have access to it. Does that give
It's just Jeff Keighley's.
I was going to say, does it give a specific date on when it is? Because this mentions
Yes, it says streaming and co-streaming everywhere. Wednesday, the 25th of August, 11 a.m. PT, 2 p.m. ET, 8 p.m. CET. In fact, I'll drop it in the chat for you guys if you haven't already seen this.
Well, Wednesday the 25th is when I'm off.
Yeah.
So I may be around for it. I may not. I'm not 100% sure right now. But I'm off for a week from that Wednesday. It was like the last week of the holidays kind of thing. I'll bring the tweet up on screen as well for anyone that isn't in the chat. Jeff Keighley,
some time.
3 weeks from today, get a new look at this holiday's biggest upcoming video games and what lies beyond at Gamescom Opening Night Live. A live 2-hour showcase, streaming and co-streaming everywhere, Wednesday, August 25th, 8 p.m. CET. So that'll be 7 p.m. For us, I imagine, unless the clocks change. Yeah, I imagine so. 8 p.m. CET is Central European time or whatever it is, and that's like an hour ahead of us.
CET to, I think it'll be GMT for us, won't it? By the time in August, do the clocks go forward?
I think it's October when the clocks go back.
We're in BST now, aren't we?
Yeah, BST right now.
CET to yeah, so we're only an hour. They're an hour in front, which is great. Ah, nice.
I'm an old man. I've been around and done these time changes many times. I mean, I still don't. I still can't figure out PT, PST, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, Eastern and Pacific time for America, no idea. European, yes, it's only 1 hour. Job's good. But yes,
cool. So 6 till 10.
2-hour showcase there. Which I hope is good. I'm going to be honest and say I thought Opening Night Live was underwhelming last year, because I feel like Jeff Keighley is trying to make. He's trying to have a stamp at the start of every major show. So we've got E3 and we've got Gamescom. Are we going to start to get a Jeff Keighley show at Tokyo Game Show? What about Paris Games Week? Are we going to start to get a Jeff Keighley thing that happens at the beginning and steals kind of the thunder, which is a very good strategic move from him to get himself at the start of the show before everything else, because he knows, with his journalistic background, that brands want to be first. They want to get out in front. They don't want to be going on the Thursday when everyone else has gone live on the Tuesday and everyone's been high-fiving Battlefield's Portal for 24 hours. Yeah, 48 hours, yeah. And then we suddenly start talking about Warzone at that point. It's gone. So he gets out in front, which is fine. But Gamescom arguably hasn't had major messaging. Gamescom falls in a part of the year where it's not the summer anymore, and summer, not stereotypically, historically was a great point, because Gamescom started out as an industry expo. That is where retailers and purchasers, as well as marketers and stuff, would meet together to discuss plans for getting merchandise, promotional items, POS, all of that sort of stuff put together and ready to be in shops for Christmas. That's why E3 happened in the summer. Gamescom, not being in June, but being in August/September almost, is super close to Christmas, is very, very close to the October announcements, where the October release window /November, where you would get Pro Gamer Wolf. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. How are you doing? August, September is too close to October, November, where you'd get the Call of Duty, where you'd get the Battlefield, where you'd get Halos or whatever usually releasing. That's why Gamescom historically has been weak. So Opening Night Live last year was that for me. We had the biggest message was Fall Guys, yeah! And it was just naff medieval themed content, which just did not ring true with anyone. Fall Guys, sadly for them, had such an amazing summer that people had super high expectations, but their high expectations were built off of quite a low level. And whilst Fall Guys did improve on their level, it didn't hit the height where people were expecting it to be based off of the successes. And that was pretty much what they rode on last year. They didn't really have anything. So hopefully they go bigger and better this year. Hopefully Xbox and Bethesda, who bizarrely are still being named separately despite being the same company now, are there. Hopefully they do have some announcements. Hopefully it is big. Last year, I did find it a little bit of a letdown, especially after we've had a summer of, when are the consoles coming? Can we get them? Is it going to be out of stock? Is it going to be in stock? When are we actually going to see the PlayStation? Through to all of the different announcements. We got 2 Xbox conferences. We had multiple state of plays and stuff as well. So we had shitloads of content. So Gamescom just had the wind taken out of its sails. The fact that we haven't had so many different conferences this year makes me feel that maybe it could be better. It could be better. And the fact that Gamescom opening night live has started to build a little bit of a plan for a format could help the publishers put their content together in a way that comes out. So it was all a bit all over the place, and last year's was the first attempt at streamlining it in a way that's good for viewers. Hopefully this year builds on that and we do have something more substantial. The fact it's 2 hours long means that, okay, that's either going to be all filler no killer, or they have so much shit in there.
Good album.
Yeah, for sure. Or it's going to be, it's going to be loads of fluff, or they've got so much messaging that they need 2 hours to get it all in. My only worry is that the Games Awards became... I'm not a fan of the Games Awards in its current guise. To shunt awards to a pre-show, to spend so long, to pretty much scratch egos and advertise, it became too commercial. And I hope this 2 hours is good and not commercial, because they have previous in both sort of ways. They being the Game Awards / Jeff Keighley. So, yeah.
It's still behind closed doors as well, though, isn't it? So it's interesting to see how they're going to do it again. Like last year it was strange for a lot of reasons, and Gamescom and E3 are these places are only as good as the people and the events that they end up putting on. So is it just going to be a bit lackluster, or is it going to be a blockbuster? Like, we genuinely have no. I'm putting that on a fucking t-shirt, by the way. What are those snipping like that is? Fucking hell, stick that on a t-shirt. But yeah, it's only going to be as good as the things that are going to be shown there, because you haven't got the hype moments of people getting super excited when things are going to get announced, like the Bethesda showroom that you was a part of and things like that. You're not going to have the breathtaking moments and things like that. So yeah,
I mean, if you'd have said lackluster or blockbuster in the Bethesda conference, there would have been people just exploding out of excitement, genuinely. Oh, baby's done another one. Fuck's sake.
But yeah, I love these. This is like my Disneyland when it comes around every year. You just get excited about the smallest of things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be on offer, because I think there is going to be a lot. We've had that last 8 months, and I'm not talking about COVID or anything like that. I'm literally talking about consoles that have been released, and we're starting to get a little bit of the power and the games starting to come through now. So is there going to be game announcements there that are going to be coming out in March or April? Or are we going to start to see little glimpses of games that we know is going to be coming in January or February? Like, that's the excitement part of it now. The consoles are out, the games are going to start to follow. Like, what are we going to see from all of these? And that's what excites me more than anything. It's not just about getting your hands on with the games, it's about the announcement trailer as they put on, the hype moments. That's what gets me going when I think of a video game conference. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting to see what a difference a year makes as well. Like talking about who's going to be there, the hype moments and things, and like looking at the list, there's big names in there. Activision, forgetting everything that's ongoing right now. Xbox, phenomenal period. Bethesda, well, Xbox but rebranded. Bandai Namco, Koch Media, when they're not doing badly informed E3 conferences, are an exceptional company with some really good people that work there. Team 17.
Very good games.
Yeah, absolutely. Team 17, also very good games. Plus, they've got that new, like, cross between Battlefield, Tarkov, I can't remember what it's called, that World War II sort of shooter stuff. So they're doing bits as well. There's some big names there. But what a difference a year makes is looking at that list, and there's no PlayStation. There's no Sony Interactive Entertainment there. And then, like last year, it's like, okay, well, PlayStation do not want to be at E3. PlayStation want to go to the celebrations of gaming. PlayStation want to be at things like Paris Games Week or little community events. They want to have the freedom to do that. They don't just want to be tied down to these not celebrations of gaming, but expos, these presentations where they don't get to give back to the gamers. And 2 years ago, a year ago, we're high-fiving that. That's a wonderful thing. Yeah, Xbox is so corporate. They just want to do E3. They want to buy out the Xbox Center, like, arena next to E3, so they've got their own big blah, 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 blah. And then you fast forward to now, and it's like, okay, well, Xbox are at yet another corporate event. That would have been the angle last year. This year, it's, okay, Xbox are giving even more content and news. Where's PlayStation? You were talking about stepping back to be included in the celebrations. There's nobody here. I see no PlayStation in this list. I see nothing about the new God of War game that has or hasn't been delayed, or the new Horizon game that has or hasn't been delayed. Where is the news? Where is the content? How am I getting hold of stuff? Where's the new peripherals? Xbox have just done some crossover stuff with fucking me. Space Jam, there we go. Crossover stuff with Space Jam. Release Space Jam themed controllers. There's a brand new controller just been announced yesterday. I don't know if it was an Elite one, but I saw this sexy sort of like turquoisey bluish controller. All this sort of stuff Xbox is doing. Yeah, it's only a controller. A lot of people aren't going to buy it because most people have got controllers, but it's still content, it's still news. Xbox are in the list, PlayStation are not in the list. It's interesting to see what a difference the year makes. Last year, high-fiving PlayStation for not being there. This year, PlayStation, where the fuck are you? Come on. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
I agree with that there, though. We need Austin Creed again from the EA Live, mate. It is, well, you'd expect from someone who's a professional wrestler not just to be extremely good in the ring and be as technical as he is, but just as good as he is on the mic, and he made that EA showcase exactly what it was like.
The interesting thing for me is I don't know if I'd have enjoyed him as much if there was an audience there, and the reason I say that is because like Austin Creeds and WWE wrestlers are exceptional at speaking to arenas or to non-arenas. The thing with an arena is you're not speaking to anyone, you're speaking to everyone, and that is a massively difficult skill, and Austin Creed can do that. He's a wrestler. That's like part of the course. To speak to everyone whilst not speaking to anyone is difficult. So when you're in a studio with no one there and you're speaking into the camera, you're speaking to the world, that is a difficult skill. So you see a lot of presenters that come in and they have a good skill at having like the small studio sort of vibe. But if you've got an empty studio sort of vibe and you're speaking to the world outwardly, it's difficult to get the tone. And Austin Creed absolutely nailed that. If you, the only downside for me is I mean, I don't know if it would work with him. I've not seen enough of him in different formats, so maybe he could nail it. Maybe he is like his talent can be applied elsewhere. But one things you see, you tend to see like with people that have that over exuberant sort of presenting style, when you're in sort of like a small room and you have a small visible crowd and you've got 4, 5 or 6 people sat on stools or on chairs or on couches and you've got people going, yeah, fuck yeah. And it's like, okay, you just look weird now because you're the only one that has that energy. I mean, we almost saw it where he was bringing one of the EA guys up to his level, kind of, but he didn't quite bring him up to his level. But he got more out of the guy who's used to stood there being going, hi, I'm a developer, and I speak about But he brought
a bit more charisma behind his voice, you know what I mean?
But he managed to bring a little bit out of him. But when you get 3 or 4 people that are all a little bit more rigid, it makes someone like Austin Creed look out of place. So I absolutely would love to see him in more content. You either just need to make sure that you got people alongside him that can vibe off him, or you want people that aren't gonna make him look stupid at the same time. But yeah, absolutely loved him. Yeah, yes, please. Yes, please. Get Greg James on it. Yeah, big old Greg James from Kind of Funny. If anyone hasn't seen the show before, we know that's not Greg James. But there you go. We won't explain it. We'll just keep it there for those that don't know. Okay, jumping back through the comments. Gamescom, normally we see Pez. Applicable word there, normally. This isn't a normal year. I don't know whether we actually will or won't see Pez, which is why I'm commenting on this, by the way. I don't know. End of next month, same time Konami said the next football reveal would be. Could be there. You never know. Might not be. It wasn't at E3, whereas it's normally at E3, so you never know. I genuinely don't know. Graham gets PTSD trying to figure out PST from EST. Yeah, I get PST ESTD. Not
Show
ST.
me some RESPECT.
Find out what it means to me. I hope we see some ESBC. At GC 2021 at 8 p.m. PST, we want some ESBC. That's at 9 p.m. PST. Oh my God, BBC GCSE. I don't know. Koch will win Gamescom by turning heel and hitting Bethesda with a chair. By God! Yes, please. No Switch Pro announcement, 1 out of 10. No comment.
I'm not going through another fucking conference of ads being there going.
Switch Pro confirmed. Mr. T!
I will block you from the fucking stream for the next 3 days.
Mr. T's in the chat. There is no Take-Two confirmed in the guest list.
No.
There is no 2K confirmed in the guest list. So basically, Mr. T popping up at that point in time. He has just leaked all of the industry. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. By the way. Sorry, calm down. Good morning. Good afternoon, actually, by the way. 12:35 now. Anyway, let's move ahead. Gamescom opening night live. We'll have a 2-hour showcase this year. We did cover it last year. Left a little bit to be desired, at least in my opinion. You guys might have enjoyed it. I wanted a little bit more. Hopefully, we will get a little bit more. 2 hours and a shitload of brands signed up, including Xbox and Bethesda. Xbox, we know, have a lot of games coming. Xbox are saying, was it a game a month or a game every 3 months they were looking at? First party games. So surely they're going to start rolling with announcements soon. Could this be it? Anyway, find out. We will most likely be doing a watch along live for that event when it happens. That will be Wednesday, 25th of August, 7 p.m. UK time. That will kick off. Anyway, let's jump ahead. I'm going to say jump ahead. I actually mean let's jump really far back into the mid-90s. Chris Scullion at VGC has this story. Cult 90s platformer Zool is getting a Steam remake. Zool Redimensioned is coming later this month. Let me hit play on the trailer. And mute the trailer as well. Okay, the classic 90s platform game Zool is getting a PC remake later this month. Zool Redimensioned was revealed today by publisher Secret Mode and has been developed by the Sumo Digital Academy. The original Zool was released by Gremlin Graphics in 1992 for the Amiga home computer and was later ported to the SNES, Mega Drive, Master System, Game Gear, Game Boy, PC, Atari ST, Amiga CD32, and Acorn Archimedes. It follows the titular Zool, a ninja from the nth dimension who resembles an ant. When his ship crash lands on an alien planet, Zool discovers that the evil Cruel has infiltrated its various worlds. Sweet music, fruit, Tool, Toy Fairground, and Desert Island, and turned the... I can't read it. It's too far off the bottom of the screen. I'm going to have to scroll. Bye-bye video. Oh, it's finishing now. That's fine. Nice, okay. I'll start the paragraph again. So when his ship crash lands on an alien planet, Zool discovers that the evil Cruel has infiltrated its various worlds. Sweet, music, fruit, Tool, Toy, Fairground, and Desert Island, and turn the ordinary, inanimate objects that inhabit it into deadly assassins, all out to kill Zool. Precision! Thank you very much for the host. I'll read, good sir. The aim is to guide Zool through each world using his ninja powers to shoot bullets, climb walls, and perform jumping spin attacks. The game was most well known for two things: its extremely high speed and the appearance of Chupa Chups lollipop branding in the first world. It was popular enough to spawn a sequel, which introduced a female companion called Zoos. The new PC remake appears to have a greatly zoomed out view, allowing players to see more of the level. It also appears to be missing the Chupa Chups branding that made the game such a talking point in the first place. It will feature 2 different modes: Redimensioned for a quote, more accessible modern experience, and Ultimate Ninja for a true hardcore challenge. Players will also be able to play the original Mega Drive version of the game to see how it used to look. The Sumo Digital Academy is a talent development program designed to help graduates make their first career move into the video game industry. Nice. It's coming out on Steam later this month. So cult 90s platformer Zool is getting a Steam remake. Thoughts, babe?
I had never. I mean, this is one of the games that I hold my hands up. I had never heard of this game before. I have never seen it in action, and that genuinely is saying something. So yeah, I'm interested from what I've seen, but as someone who's never played it before, I'm more inclined to hear your thoughts on this. How excited are you from a level 1 to 10? How excited are you to see this make? Has this come completely left field? Like, did anyone even see this coming for a start?
Couple of different answers. I did not see this coming. Madge just kind of nailed it. Oh no, Tito's kind of nailed it for me. If you'd asked me this, I'm quite excited at this because I remember like Zool came out super early in my life. Like obviously the first few years of your life, you learn the basics, like, you know, being able to not shit yourself, being able to communicate and walk and stuff. And then I started to play games around 6, around 6, 7, 8 years old kind of thing. My first experience with games was on my cousin's Sega Mega Drive. So I started paying attention to video games at that point in time, obviously playing the Sonics and things like that. And Zool came out there, and Zool was like, I remember drawing Sonic the Hedgehog every week, figuring out the eye shape and then doing the like sausage shape of his mouth and then the little nose on the end, and then Zool looks cool as well. I want to play that and draw that. So in my head, Zool is this really cool, well drawn, badass thing. But Tito, his comment says, Might just be nostalgia, but I swear the game looked better originally. I swear Zool looked better originally because I wrote it yesterday, Zool Ninja of the Nth Dimension in Discord, and then when I saw that thing come out, I thought I could have sworn it looked cooler than that. I thought it was like in my mind, maybe it's rose tinted glasses, but I've got whatever Zool looks like, that ninja ant thing, mixed with maybe Shinobi. I don't know. Maybe that's what they kind of merged together. But now I'm seeing it now. I'm kind of like, oh, that's cool. But I'm also not that excited. It's nice to see something being remade, but I'm not excited. Tell you what actually does get me more excited, and it's not so much excited, but I have a lot of time for, is the Sumo Digital Academy. Because this game, this Zool game, let me bring it back on screen. Obviously, games are beyond this now. This sort of like 16-bit side-scrolly stuff would have taken teams of people years ago. But that is something that very few people are needed for to do today. One person could make games that are beyond this in terms of design, scale, size, longevity, all sorts of things. One person could push that quite easily these days, providing they've got the experience. But that experience is the key bit. I like this, the Sumo Digital Academy. So this game has been made by the Sumo Digital Academy, not just Sumo Digital making games, but this is giving graduates, new developers, a chance to develop games that will probably, if they made a side-scrolling game with a ninja ant as the feature and it was brand new, it probably wouldn't go too far. Probably. It might do well in indie circuits, but wouldn't break out. Zool did break out, and the fact that it has broken out previously means that just the first announcement for this is being spoken about on VGC, and now the scoop. So that's the bit that I am more excited about, is that Sumo Digital are willing to use their graduate programs to satisfy indie audiences, satisfy old school gamers that will remember the past, do a little bit of retro throwback, but also give new developers time to go hands on with the industry, which is nice. I've got a lot of time for that sort of stuff.
Somewhere Jamie Hughes is wanking himself into a coma of this news.
Okay. I'm going to say you need to specify, but you mentioned with this news. Okay, I'm going to say it's Thursday. It could just be Love you, Jamie. Okay, Jimmy back. There is no Dana, only Zool. As long as Bibby covers the Koch stream or event, he said Bibby actually said that he wants to be in there. He says, you know what? Absolutely, get my name on it first. I can see me and Mr. T doing bits is the phrase that he used. So you both signed up for that. So GG's boys.
Pre-show and post-show, great stuff.
Bibby, you're too young to remember this. Yeah, you'd have been like, when I was playing it, I'd have been 7-ish, which means you'd have been about 2-ish. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first game that I ever remember playing is from this chat behind me. That's the first game that actually my mind can go back and picture me playing it. Anything else like before, or even in the coming years afterwards, nothing really stands out more than playing Sonic and Super Mario World with my granddad. So like there probably would have been a time where I might have picked it up and played it, but I honestly can't remember ever hearing about this game. So
it was I mean, Matt just said it there. Zool was for a time an attempt for Amiga to have its own Sonic character and mascot. That's exactly what it was. Everyone was trying to have their quirky little characters. So you got Mario, you had Sonic, there was an attempt at Zool. Bubsy was another one. I can't remember who made the Bubsy games, which obviously Bubsy had a few attempts with Bubsy 3D and stuff like that. But yeah, there was a bunch of different attempts at quirky, cool little mascot characters. I say cool, quirky little mascot characters. Sonic was obviously the one that brought the cool, and Zool was kind of trying to be Sonic to the nth dimension, but not. And by proxy, the inferior Atari ST port, was great. I remember playing this on the only Amiga computer in Rawthorpe Junior School that was in Mr. Eastwood's class. There were some great games of that era. Zool, Pushover, Cool Spot, James Pond, Robocod. Yes, please. I'm 28 and I played it. ET on Atari is greater than.
Yeah, right. There's many landfills around the desert that say otherwise.
Rambo 3, Commodore 64, mate. I've said it before. Absolute game changer. Very few of the Amiga/ST side-scrolling platformers match Sonic Mario for field execution, apart from Magic Pockets and Gods, which were amazing. I can't remember those. I don't know. Ad says I loved ET. Are we talking about the game, or are we talking like Eastern Time? Or are we talking like PT, PST? Oh, it's coming back again. PT, EST, DDT.
It's down at the East Coast.
Zool on Amiga was good fun and benefit from the parallax scrolling that Amiga could do. Little creepy bastard. I'm assuming that's at you and not ET, Bib. So Nice. That's not very nice.
I mean, I'll take it.
Speaking about little creepy bastards, let's jump into our next news story. Hey! Shout out to Tito for bringing this to. Actually, did Tito put the link in, or did Tito just bring it to my attention by mentioning that Graham would be interested with this? But do you know what? This is arguably a massive crossover for a very large section of the PUBG audience, but not me. Emma Kent at Eurogamer has the article. It says, PUBG gets crossover event with K-pop supergroup Blackpink. Sing for your supper. Ever heard of Blackpink? Question mark. If not, well, a lot of people sure have. The band was the first K-pop girl to reach 1 billion views on YouTube, and they're currently the most subscribed to music group on the platform. And now the group is coming to PUBG with their very own crossover event. I'm going to stop for just a second. This band I have never heard of until the last couple of weeks. It started to be seeded a couple of weeks back on PUBG social media. Now we've got this announcement here. We were actually looking at this at the cinema for like next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Meerkat movies and stuff. There's a Blackpink film in our local View cinemas. So they are clearly massive. Obviously, K-pop is huge. It's not something I'm subscribed to though. But this. I'll finish the article. I'll go through the article before I start pissing and moaning because it doesn't speak just to me. But between the 18th to the August to 7th September, players will be able to participate in, quote, special in-game event missions, quote, end quote, to earn points to acquire Blackpink-themed items, including a level 3 helmet and contraband coupons. And there's plenty more in-game items. Where that came from, 35 distinct items will be on sale in total and will be purchasable from today until the end of the year. Each of the band members will have their own cosmetic bundles. Excuse me. Each of which includes, I'm going to hit play on that. Each of which includes themed hair, an outfit, a nameplate, helmet, weapon, and emote. PUBG's maps will also see some changes as part of the event. Blackpink-themed decorations, such as building decals, plane banners, supply crates, and level 3 helmets will appear from today until the 7th of September on PC, and from the 12th of August to the 15th of September on consoles. On the surface, Blackpink might seem an odd choice for a PUBG collaboration, but it's worth remembering that developer crafting is also based in South Korea. The game developer is expected to achieve the second biggest IPO on record in South Korea by Bloomberg. So I guess it makes sense that one of the country's biggest game developers would combine forces with one of its biggest music acts. What are your thoughts, Bib? I'll save my thoughts for now. What are your thoughts on... And whilst Fortnite is looking at courting Ariana Grande, PUBG is looking at courting Blackpink. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely, you've said it so many times about this game, it's definitely aimed at a particular audience and a particular side of the world. It's the amount of backlash that you tell me that you see on Twitter and all these other social media platforms that are just saying, why are you doing this? Like the pajama party and now this is just, it doesn't fit the aesthetic of what the game was in the first place. It just feels so out of place. And obviously they're getting paid a lot of money to be able to promote this. This is just like an advertising tool, this game now. For whoever wants to pay to put their stuff in there. It's bizarre. I definitely won't understand it. It's just, yeah, it's not my cup of tea at all.
Yeah, it's I get it. I do get it. I get that I'm not everyone. I get that I don't speak for everyone. It's just so frustrating to see a game that was built with one specific aesthetic in mind completely go against that consistently. And that aesthetic was boots on the ground, which is what I talk about all the time. I like some semblance of modern militaristic shooter, which PUBG is. And it's wonderful, but it's always like I'm currently working through the battle pass. The battle pass has something called a Venator outfit. I don't know what the word Venator means, but in my mind, the word Venator sounds cool. The Venator outfit is a short skirt and almost a sailor-looking top. What's that film with? There's like something called Baby Doll. What's it called? It's like schoolgirl outfit fighting badass things. Anyway, I'm gonna Google it. It's going to do my nut in. Is it Sucker Punch? Is that what it was called?
Search history,
Baby Doll Sucker Punch. Is it Sucker Punch? Sucker Punch. Oh my god, I can't fucking. Sucker Punch. That's the film. It's a 2011 American psychological fantasy action film directed by Zack Snyder. There you go, Sucker Punch. So basically, the outfit that Baby Doll wears in Sucker Punch. Billard's got it. Sucker Punch, nice. So the outfit that Baby Doll wears in that is like the top tier outfit in the Battle Pass. Yet again, it's not the first. It's probably about the fourth or fifth time a schoolgirl-esque miniskirt outfit is the top tier of PUBG's season pass, which is fine every now and then, a bit of variety, but we've got purchasable school skins now. We had pajama parties and stuff before. So PUBG started out as some militaristic shooter, and it's now like short skirts, miniskirts, schoolgirl outfits, and it's just it's purely aimed at a different audience. It's aimed at different cultures. So Korean audiences like different content versus Western audiences, which is perfectly fine. But it's a shame to see that the amount of skewing towards Korean audiences versus Western audiences now is to the point where we criticize PlayStation for forcing Eastern audiences to use the Western button. So you get rid of your circle, it's X to accept now, and obviously that's very ethnocentric. What's good for your culture isn't good for every culture. What's good for my culture isn't good for the Korean cultures, as you can see in the skins. So a partnership with Blackpink, a hugely successful brand/band, is an exceptional business choice. But that comes straight off the heels of Son Heung-min. It's like, okay, well, we get Son. He is a global face, but he is a Korean star. We've got Blackpink, which is a Korean brand. There is shitloads of content creators playing PUBG, the likes of the Choco Tacos of the world, and Lyric was playing it the other week. None of those are getting any forms of crossover, but there is creators that I've never heard of getting skins and stuff in game, and it's a bit disappointing for me, purely from an ethnocentric point of view. Is this game is now starting to speak to me less and less. I know that I'm not the target audience, and they don't want me to feel like the target audience. They are not asked whether I do feel like the target audience, because miniskirts, schoolgirl outfits, Korean band crossovers, Korean football star crossovers, Korean content creators, nothing from Europe or America, nothing that's westernized or anglicized. It's frustrating to see that it has become so self-involved and self-aware that it doesn't see anything outside, which is a shame, which is genuinely a shame for me to see. I can't relate to the game, to the branding, to the marketing. It doesn't speak to me. It's frustrating. Graham's PUBG dream has come true. Anyone play Gumshoe on NES with the light gun? No. K-pop ruined Twitter says, as plays. To be honest, Graham, the colours of your background lighting and clothing shows you well up for this. That's true. Everything is black and pink. Twitter screwed Twitter. That's also true. Methinks he doth protest too much. Maybe he does. Is it just me, or is PUBG becoming like a WWE product with a worldwide reach, but tends to stay in its home-based country, so not many others get the popped? I don't know what the popped means, but yes, I agree with the general sentiment. No idea, to be honest. Okay, to be fair, Ice Cream Uppers, the name Battle Royale started off with an Asian film where school kids were forced to fight to death, in a sense it's true to its genre roots. I mean, I get that, but it was also made by an Irishman who started out his journey along the genre creation in Southern America, so it was a European-American crossover that led to something that was obviously backed by Bluehole, which was then bought out by Tencent. So, I mean, they've killed off PlayerUnknown, but not killed him. So basically, anyone who doesn't know, PUBG is now called PUBG Battlegrounds. It was called PlayerUnknown's Battleground, PUBG. Anyway, they've got rid of PlayerUnknown's out of the title now. It's called PUBG Battlegrounds. So PUBGBG is the name, which is already a meme. People were taking the piss. Anyway, PlayerUnknown's Twitter account disappeared the other day. Brendan Green was removed from Twitter and then came back a little bit later on when people started to notice. So it feels almost like, okay, let's get rid of PlayerUnknown, let's get rid of Brendan Green, let's get rid of all of the ties into our roots and stuff, and let's just be a very ethnocentric, very narrow-minded piece of content, which is a shame, because there's nothing wrong with a content stream focused at a specific user base, but when there is already a global user base that wants to be involved and you're just isolating and segregating those, it's disappointing and ignorant, which is a shame. Venator is Latin for hunter, apparently, as all schoolgirls are. Nice. It's not X, it's cross, actually. It is, that's true. I've mentioned that before. Yeah. Good points. Good points. Yeah, the triangle, circle, cross, square, because an X is not a shape, an X is a letter, and the others are shapes. So blew my mind the first time I heard that. But yes, anyway, speaking of PUBG, before we jump off, I want to kind of mention this we are right and what we want and what our user base sort of mantra that they have is ringing true into other areas. So anyone that's in our Discord might have seen something that I posted this morning. PUBG has an issue with its user base. Sadly, the game is dying, which is probably in part to things like this. The fact that it's heavily K-pop/Korean focused means that queues and user bases in NA in Europe are dropping off. People have been complaining about that naturally. If it takes you 7 minutes to get into a game and you could die in 5 seconds and then you have to go into another 7-minute queue, that's going to kill your game off. So people have been sharing these sentiments with PUBG. General users through to top-level content creators have been sharing stuff. PUBG shared a message this morning which basically said, we've had a look at the data, and the data says that you're wrong. It's like, oh, well, I wasn't really sat there for 7 to fucking 15 minutes trying to find a game. Thanks, I must have been mistaken. So it just shows that a game that went from being built off of the back of community and inclusion and listening to the community and trying to bring in thoughts and opinions and input from all over the community is now a very narrow-minded, top-led product, and it's heartbreaking to see. It is genuinely. I mean, it's almost like they need to start a partner program or something to get the input. Oh wait, they have that. They just don't use it. What the fuck? But anyway, that's enough of the PUBG rant. PUBG is getting a crossover event with K-pop supergroup Blackpink, but that is about the end of things for us. Hello. That wraps things up for us. We are going to jump off. And we'll have extra content today. What are your plans for the day, babe? Hello?
Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I think the Discord cut you off then because you went to a certain decibel, so it died for me a second. I said, we had extra content. And then that was it.
I said, we have extra content today. What are your plans today, babe?
Yeah. I'm going out. It's Thursday. It's golf day today, even though it's meant to be thunder and lightning in the next 3 hours, so that should be interesting.
Nice. Enjoy the swim.
But a father-in-law wants his ass kicking again for the 3rd time in 3 weeks, so I'm not going to say no, am I?
Whoopa. Nice. Well, I will be jumping on with, do you know what? I've just ranted about it, so let's play it. Let's play some PUBG. Yeah!
So you play Fortnite?
No. I did download it, though, yesterday, just in case I wanted to jump in. So it was installing while you were on stream. It didn't finish until you'd actually finished the stream, which is why I didn't jump in. I was sat ticking off emails, watching you and Jordan, thinking, do you know what? I might jump in, spend 12 hours, like pressing the wrong buttons. Like the crouch is something else.
How do you build again?
It's not even that. It's the fact that circle is to crouch or whatever it is on Fortnite.
No.
Or is it the other way? Is it the stick?
Circles to build. Yeah, sticks to crouch. It fucks me off as well because every single third-person game I have ever played, circle is to crouch, and then I go to crouch and start building a fucking wall in front of me.
Well, yeah, that's what happens to me, and PUBG as the opposite one. So I come straight from PUBG, trying to jump out the plane, trying to put a marker on the map, and I end up fucking doing the wrong thing. So yeah, I might jump in at some point, but today is going to be about PUBG. So if you are not doing anything today, if you don't want to go out and get caught in the thunder and lightning and wind and rain and all the other stuff that will affect Bibby on the golf course, as he absolutely nails. Not like that. His stepfather once again. Then feel free to stick around here because I will be going live with some PUBG just after I've devoured some food that I've just had delivered.
Yay.
Thank you. Yeah. But before all of that, Mr. Bib, before you disappear and get all golfing, and I'm not talking about Fortnite, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much for joining us for the 4th episode of The Scoop this week. We very much appreciate you stopping by and providing us with some news articles like Tino did for us. But if you want to help shape our show for the last episode tomorrow, there's 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. All the links that you need will be in the description below if you're watching this on any of our on-demand services. And all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m. Ish. We will be live at 10 a.m. ish, just like we are each and every single weekday. Today it was like 20 to 12 ish. So feel free to join us around that time. But yeah, 10 a.m. ish is by the time the next time we're going to be live. Iceman says, nah, it's X. Circle, Delta, and I can't think of any other letter in the alphabet that uses a square character. There's some things that are kind of close to squares in the Cyrillic alphabet. I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, we'll just it'll be whatever the one that looks like Stonehenge but without the bottom. It's that one. Yes, nice. See, got my alphabets nailed. Yeah. Anyway, on that bombshell, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a lovely day. We are going to drop off and then we're going to come back with some PUBG. See you then. Until then.